Happy New Year, Pattern 4. Right, we're looking at our student book today, looking at student book 68 and 69. So let's go over what we looked at last week. We started to look at food, and when we're looking at food, it's very important that we're able to see the difference between food that is countable, you remember? Countable, able to count. Able means can. So things you can count, you can look at and say how many, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is countable. Or uncountable. Un here means not. You cannot count it, and that's things that's very small, like sand or sugar or coffee or tea, or things that are like water, like liquid, and you can't count it very easily. So we need to know the difference between them. Let's look here and see what it means. So if something is countable, that means you can say how many, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means then that there is a singular, because you can say how many, 1. Singular means 1. So you can say there is 1. Or you can say there is more than 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then that is plural. And there are words we use that are different when we're talking about singular and plural. We're talking about one thing like a cake, then we use is and a. There is a cake, or there isn't a cake, or for a question, is there a cake? One thing countable, we use is, and we use a for one. If what we're looking at is more than one, is plural, then usually we put an S on the end of the word. 1 cake, 2 cakes. And if it's plural, then we use are. So we would say, there are cakes. Now, the next thing we needed to look at then is we need to look at these words here, some and any, okay? And we use some here to say more than one. So we would say there are some cakes, okay? We can count them, we could say 7, 8, 9, 10, or we can just say yes, there are some. Are because more than one. Now, if we're going to say no, or we make a question, we use any. So we would say yes, there are some, but no, there are not any. The question would be, are there any? So here for singular we use there is, but for plural we use there are. There are some, but no, there are not any. Or a question, are there any? Now, if what we're looking at is uncountable, like coffee, then we can't say how many, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there is no singular and no plural. So what do? We use is. So we would say, there is some coffee. Just means yes, there is some coffee. If we want to say no, then we would say, there is not any coffee. And if we make a question, then we would say, is there any? So if what we're looking at is uncountable, we use is, and again look, the same as here, we use some for yes, any for no, and any for a question. Okay? We'll come back here a little bit later. So let's go over here then to page 68. Here look, we've got our 9 different food. And here's the names. I think you know these. Bacon, bananas, cheese, eggs, honey, oil, strawberries, tomatoes, yogurt. So let's put the numbers in. So like number 6, oil will be here, won't it? Or honey, number 5 will be here. So put those in. Now we're going to listen to the CD, and what I want you to do is to put here yes or no if they have these things. So if they have them, you put yes. If they don't have the food, you put no. Okay, let's play the CD.
I'm hungry. Are you hungry too, Pete?
Yes, let's make an omelet.
Let's check what we have.
There are some eggs, but there isn't any cheese.
But there's some bacon. Forget it. There aren't any tomatoes and there isn't any oil.
Then let's make a fruit salad. I'm hungry.
Okay. There are some bananas, but there aren't any strawberries.
There's some yogurt, but there isn't any honey. I have a better idea.
Now what?
Let's order some sushi.
Okay, so we know what we have and what we don't have. Okay, so they say what they have and we put down here. Now, there isn't any means this is going to be uncountable. Okay, but here look, there aren't any, then these are going to be the countable ones. And let's just look. There's an S on the end. More than one, countable. S on the end, more than one, countable. S on the end, S on the end. So those are your countable ones, so you must use are. The others are uncountable, so you must use is. And here, look, we're only interested in what's missing. So they said that they have bacon, but no cheese, so there isn't any cheese. Uncountable there. Okay, so that's the first part. Okay, now second part is the same thing. You're going to listen to the conversation, and now we're going to look at these words much and many. Much, you see here the letter U, so the letter U goes with uncountable. Let's write it here, look. Uncountable. So when it's uncountable, we use much. M-U-C-H, much. The U for uncountable. Many we use for countable. So we've got to look at these. Okay, it's in the story. S on the end tells me it's countable. Okay, so if it's countable, then we're going to use many. Uncountable, U for uncountable, we use much. Okay, let's listen to the story, and then here look, uncountable and countable. Okay.
Track 41. How much soup is there in the fridge?
There's some.
How much chicken is there?
There's some.
How many pancakes are there?
There are some.
How many sausages are there?
There are some. Check.
There isn't any soup. There isn't any chicken. There aren't any pancakes. And there aren't any sausages.
That was delicious. Odd.
So you see the cat, he's very happy. So here look, soup, chicken is not countable, pancakes, sausages, countable, so we must use are or are not. Uncountable is not. And here look, U for uncountable, many for countable. See if you can do those two pages, 68 and 69.